Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to episode 6 of SG Sports Uncut. I'm Raj Kumar, and Uncut is the show that brings you closer to our Team Singapore athletes and coaches. Now, by the time you watch the show, the SEA Games would have already been underway. So, this particular episode is filmed on the 26th of November with our athletes still in Singapore. On today's show, we are speaking to the athletes from esports and basketball. In esports, we have one of the coaches in Jacky Ng, and he's joined by two athletes in the form of Wong Jeng Yih and Gerald Chew. Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of SG Sports Uncut. Wong Jeng Yih, let's get this segment started with you about esports. But just before we talk about the sport proper, let's give the fans a chance to get to know all three of you just a little bit better. So, Jeng Yih, outside of gaming, do you play anything else? Board games, card games?
So for me, actually, I'm mainly on a PC platform for games, and it's actually just more other games of PC platform. I don't really have. Sometimes I do board games for leisure with friends, but not really much. Yeah, but so mostly it's like different games on PC instead of like outside activities more. Yeah.
So even when you were a teenager, it was always about PC games.
A lot of my times are spent on PC games. Like I think the story is like something like, when I was younger, there wasn't much things to do besides like I think studying, hanging out with friends. So it happens to be that I hang out with friends. My friends play a lot of PC or console games too.
Right.
So I wasn't as interested in console, and PC was more accessible for my home. I had one PC at home, which was pretty good. So yeah, I got to play a lot of PC games, and from there made more friends, and that's how it started for me.
Okay. Do you have a hobby of sort? I mean, collecting action figures, Lego play sets, books?
Books, action figures, not really, but I do have some DoTA figures maybe.
Oh.
So yeah, DoTA characters figures. So it's still back to DoTA. So like some events you go up to, there's like the sell figurines and stuff. You can collect a few of them, like the characters inside.
Yeah. To our friends watching, Jeng Yih's his specialty is he's been playing DoTA, the game.
Yeah, DoTA 1 and DoTA 2.
Yeah, for almost 15 years.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, 15 years.
That's a bit crazy actually.
Exactly. Which secondary school did you go to, and what would you like during your teenage years?
I went to Pasir Ris Secondary School. It's a neighborhood school in Tampines. Yeah. So what was it like in my teenage years? So apart from studies, which I didn't focus so much on, I focused much more on gaming, and it was more of a hobby. It wasn't like really competitive. There wasn't like real proper training and stuff.
Yeah.
So you spent a lot of time on different games, a lot of titles like maybe Frozen Throne, Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne, CS, and eventually it became DoTA 2. That was the game that hooked me up the most. And luckily for me, I had like friends who play the same game as me, so it's very easy to gather friends and just go out on the weekends to play games in like cyber cafes. Back then, cyber cafes was really popular.
Yeah.
Because not everyone has good connection in Singapore back then, or good PCs in Singapore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I spend most of my time.
Yeah. I mean, I will attest to that because I might be of the older generation, but I think 10-15 years ago, me and my friends, we would go to cyber cafes and spend time playing Counter-Strike, playing Battlefield. I mean, Battlefield by EA Sports, that whole franchise, Call of Duty,
Yep. So for me, I was quite lucky. Is that I was staying in Katong. If you know Katong, this area has a lot of LAN shops.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just a 5 minutes walk out, and my friends are there.
Right.
So it's super accessible for me. As long as like enough pocket money, I'll go for it.
Nice. And how did you arrive as Nuts as your IGN? IGN, of course, is the gaming technology as a nick, as a nick or a nickname. So your IGN is Nuts. How did you come by that in the gaming world?
Okay, it's a bit embarrassing to say, but okay. Nuts, this word's like there's many meanings, right? I think it can be the food, it can be some parts of the body,
Yeah.
it can be some crazy person. Yeah, but I think what I wanted was like more towards the crazy side. Like when they say someone, are you nuts? That kind of things, right? It's like more crazy. So back then I was like playing a lot of Warcraft. So the initial nick was actually Walnuts.
Right. Oh.
Yeah, it's made from the nut walnut. So I just would play a bit to walnuts. So Warcraft 3 nuts, walnuts. Then after a while I felt that it's like it's quite disgusting. So I just shorten it to nuts.
Nuts.
So mainly for the meaning, I'll go for like the crazy kind, like
Yeah.
I kind of don't want my opponent to understand what I'm thinking behind playing the game. So that kind of thoughts were behind the nick.
Yeah. So it's NUTZ. It's not NUTS. NUTZ.
Z was just for to make it cooler. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Cool.
We'll come to Gerald Chew now. Where is the one special place in Singapore to go and chill with your friends?
So usually what me and my friends would like to do is like we just go and play darts or pool at somewhere and like we find somewhere that you can like play, and that's what we do when we want to relax.
Actual darts or e-darts?
Oh.
Actual darts or you use the...
I think both also have.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, it depends. Depends on location.
Alright. Do you maybe perhaps watch football, a favourite English football club by any chance?
I used to follow a little bit because last time my friends in secondary school they used to follow a lot of football, but then like once I moved on I kind of stopped following, so yeah, I don't really know much about football anymore nowadays.
What about music? Do you have like a favourite artist?
I actually really love listening to orchestral music. Basically the music used for shows, trailers and soundtracks. I think there are a lot of underappreciated composers there.
Okay. You're a Star Wars fan?
No,
Not a Star Wars fan?
not really, but I think I know enough about it because a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, the reason I'm saying is because you said you love orchestra and soundtracks. So next month I believe the SSO is doing a concert all Star Wars music. Yeah, so that's a plug for the SSO. But so do you get to watch any movies or television? Fan of any franchise?
Not really. I'm not really a kind of person to like watch television because I think I'm a more hands-on person. I like to do the activities that are like more exciting. That basically it makes use of my mind and body more. That's why I like playing games so much, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
So in your earliest memory, which was your very first video game that you played?
I think very first would be like maybe when I was like 5 or 6, and then I had like the Game Boy Advance, and then I was like playing Pokemon because it was really popular at that time. I think. Yeah. I can't remember which version was it. It's one of the earlier ones.
Pokemon was your earliest. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think it might be different from you all.
Yeah.
So
for me, especially playing Atari. Okay. We come to Jacky.
Yep.
Time to hear from you. And what do you do professionally for a career, Jacky Ng?
Okay, I've been in esports for the past 8 years. So I've been in different startups and corporate companies as well, such as Garena.
Mhm.
I'm currently in one championship under the one esports department. I'm doing their league operations side of things. So I organize events,
Wow.
large scales, even community events as well.
Okay.
Yep, that's what I do right now.
And
Yep.
I believe there's a big event that's coming up at the end of
Yep.
December.
Coming right up, end of this year, we're gonna have the first DoTA Invitational. So we invited the top 12 teams in the world. Not really top 12, but they are like the tier 1 teams in the world. They'll be coming down to Singapore to compete. And yep, this event is going to be organized by us. It's going to be huge. So anyone who wants to come, please go and grab your tickets right now.
So it's taking place where? At the
Indoor Stadium.
indoor stadium?
Yep.
Do you have the date?
22nd, 23rd of December.
Wow, just before Christmas.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Which was, I guess, with the fact that you work with one championship,
Yep.
You probably get to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So which was your favorite city that you traveled to this year? And why?
It happens in about a month ago. I was in Japan. That was my first trip to Japan. We had a really good event there. We were doing some Street Fighter and Tekken tournament right there.
Mhm.
So to mingle with the Japanese crowd is pretty different from the Southeast Asia crowd that I am used to. So it was a very good experience for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What is your record of sitting in front of a PC and playing for hours? How many hours was that?
Okay. To be honest, I'm already 35. I'm a father of 2.
Okay.
So I find it extremely hard to have time to play games. But the longest that I've actually touched games in total is on my mobile phone.
Right.
It was 13 hours straight.
13
hours.
on your
straight.
mobile phone?
Yes. That's my record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was playing Arena of Valor. So
Okay.
it was pretty tough because it was like the final 2 days of the ranking.
Yeah.
And I was trying hard to get to top 50 in the world. So yeah. So
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Around which year was this?
Probably about 3-4 years back, I guess. Yeah, I can't remember the year though, but
Okay.
there was a
just
special.
so recent. 3-4 years ago. It's pretty recent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had one kid then. So yeah.
Okay.
So it was a lot easier than right now.
Your favorite movie based off a gaming franchise like Street Fighter, Warcraft, Mortal Kombat, Tomb Raider.
I would say
Rampage.
in terms of gaming, I would say probably Tomb Raider. I mean,
Tomb Raider.
Lara Croft is a great character.
Okay.
Yeah, the movie is nice. Other than that, I don't really have time for movies right now. And the last 2 movies I've watched are all, I like Toy Story 4 and Frozen, simply because I'm a parent. So yeah, it's a lot tougher.
Well,
But,
Frozen 2 just opened.
I just watched it 2 days ago.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. So among the 3 of you, I have to ask. Okay, you're already married.
Yep.
Yeah. So among the 3 of you, okay, so the 2 of you, do you have a girlfriend or a partner who's also a diehard gamer? Your wife, is she a diehard gamer?
Nope.
No.
She hates playing games.
She hates?
Yeah.
Okay. What about?
No.
No. No.
Single unwanted.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah, single and still available. Okay. All right. Jeng Yih, let's now talk about esports proper. And the SEA Games, as we know that this year marks the debut of esports at the Games. How does it feel when you first heard that you have been chosen to represent the Republic at the Southeast Asian Games?
Of course, it feels great. Initially, when they announced, it took a while for them to announce, because we had the qualifiers in, I think, April or May, around that period. So even winning the qualifiers doesn't assure you getting the slot. That's something very different from what we had in our tournaments really. Because normally in esports tournament, if you qualify, if you win the first slot, normally you qualify for the tournament. But in this case, they had to hold on for a period to choose who represents the country. So of course, once you know you're confirmed that you are representing, it's pretty thrilling. But it's kind of contradicting also, because it feels like a duty you have to fulfill in the end. I feel for your country. I've been playing this game for so long, and there's this chance to represent the country in a proper form. So I think it's a good thing.
Nice.
Overall.
And what did your non-gaming friends say when they found out that you're part of a 20-member contingent that will be traveling to the Philippines to compete for a gold medal? Gold medal.
Mostly they are excited. They want to see what happens there. But most of my friends I have more gaming friends, so they already know I'm in this this career for quite a period of time. So they're kind of expecting that I should be going for it. And yeah, of course they are pretty supportive. You've been doing this for so long, and now you're there. Yeah, they're so happy for me.
Nice. Gerald Chew, the inclusion of esports in the SEA Games would not have been made possible without the total support of Tan Min Liang, who is the CEO of Razer, which is a gaming software and hardware giant in the industry. So he promised the SEA Games organizers to provide all the hardware, all the expertise, and in hosting an esports tournament. So how do you feel about Min Liang's role in the SEA Games debut?
I feel like he played a pretty big role because I heard that he was the one that lobbied to make the esports game in the SEA Games. So I guess we all have to thank him for being here today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very helpful when you provide all this, because normally I think the SEA Games, the organizing committee, they are not used to have to provide hardware for this kind of event. So I think his support is very helpful in order to facilitate the games.
Yeah. Well, the Razer co-founder also just 3 months ago announced a $10 million donation to help grow the esports scene and companies here in Singapore. $10 million. What do you think of this huge sponsorship by Razer?
It's definitely very generous of him. The thing is that the esports scene in Singapore is quite lukewarm, I would say. There are not a lot of sponsors or funding to give to esports in Singapore. So I think it's a very generous move, probably out of patriotism, because he knows that someone needs to kickstart the scene. Otherwise, we are not going to grow the talent in Singapore if we don't have the funding. Yeah.
Especially the scene has evolved tremendously, especially in this decade.
Yes.
Last year it was still growing. Jacky Ng, let's talk about the SEA Games format. 6 games have been selected for the athletes to compete across 3 platforms, namely the PC mobile, the console, namely the PC, the mobile phone, and the console. You're the coach of a team that will be competing in Arena of Valor, or AOV. So for the benefit of our fans watching, what is Arena of Valor all about?
Okay, Arena of Valor is a 5v5 team game.
5 versus 5.
5 versus 5. So in short term, it's called MOBA. To expand on that, it's actually multiplayer online battle arena. So it's a 5v5 team game that to knock down the throne, you basically win the game. So this is a very short description of the game actually.
And what is the duration of each game?
It can go as long as 30 minutes. It can be as short as 10.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
And-
how the game is right now. Yeah.
And you create your own characters to fight?
No, so there is in-game characters. There's like quite a lot.
Yeah.
So you can choose different heroes to form a team that has a strategy behind it to like win the game. Yeah.
Okay. Jeng Yih, you're competing in DoTA 2, which is for the PC platform. Do tell us briefly about DoTA 2.
So like what he mentioned, it's pretty similar, but it's on the PC platform, and it's more. I'd say it's more complicated because it's like it's quite wide. It's wide, and the amount of strategies you can have inside is just you can't count. You just can't count.
Right.
Yeah, because there's a variation of like heroes. I think there's about 130, 140. They're coming up more heroes nowadays, and so just like AOV, it's made out of like 5 versus 5, and the objective is to break opponents. Main objective is the throne before they kill yours. Yeah, so it's very similar to AOV, and there's too much strategy, and it can never be fixed. That's the good thing about. I mean, that's the special thing about DoTA. There's always different ways of winning, and it's always new. It's always refreshing ideas. Yeah.
So which is your favorite character in DoTA?
I think I have quite a lot of favorites, and it changes across time. Like every month, because there's like a meta in the DoTA, it shifts every time. So
Right.
I kind of change every time. But I think I'm more known for this hero called Witch Doctor. So I think people like to see me play that hero much more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And who are your fellow athletes in the team that's going up to the SEA Games?
You mean
Your national athletes.
So I've like. You mean the,
Yeah,
name,
yeah,
the name of the players?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have like Wilson Cole.
Mhm.
It's like they are all about 23 years old. Wilson Cole. Then there's Lukman Lukman Norasnan.
Mhm.
Then there's Joel, and the last one is Yawen Teo.
So it's 5 versus 5.
Hmm.
5v5.
5 aside.
Okay. Gerald, you'll be competing in the PC-based game called Hearthstone, and this is an electronic card game created by Blizzard.
Yeah, basically it's like the traditional card game, like Magic or all those stuff. But then the good thing is that they combine it all into one electronic game, so you don't have to like travel down to like shops just to play other people or like buy cards and stuff. So that's what made it very popular, because it became a lot more convenient where you can play from your house, and then it's also cheaper because the real life version you have to pay a lot to buy cards, but in the game you can somehow earn it for free sometimes. Yeah.
I understand your nick or your IGN is Caius.
Yes.
Caius. So, and how did you come by that nickname? And how many of you are representing Singapore in Hearthstone?
My name comes from like it's part of my real name. My full name is Gerald Chew Kai Kiet. So I just took like Kai and added like 2 letters to it, I guess, because just to make it sound slightly different, because it's actually quite other short and simple name that's unique. So yeah.
Okay.
And
how many are representing?
there's 2 of us representing. I'm representing alongside another player called Benjamin, and both of us will be playing at the SEA Games. It will be an individual event, so both of us can potentially stand on the podium if that's the dream scenario.
Okay. Jacky, a quick one.
Yep.
You've got you are coaching the team.
Yep.
So what are the names of the players?
So in my team, there's 5 players. Captain is Debbie Lim. He's actually a full-time policeman. We have Ranford, who is actually, he was from Campus Superstar like 20-30 years ago. Yeah. There's Chris Ong, Marcus, and Beyond, who is actually the Mobile Legends World Champion coach, which is another different game, but very similar. Yeah, so we have quite a good team that will compete in the SEA Games this time around. Yep.
And you mentioned one of them is a full-time policeman.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. He touched on Mobile Legends Bang Bang, which is one of the games that athletes will be competing. What is your take on this particular game?
I've actually played some of it before, back in my army days. What makes it so popular is that you can play on the phone, and then it's like maybe 10 minutes, you can finish in 10-20 minutes. So it's like during your lunch break or just your recess break or whatever, and then you can just enjoy with your group of friends,
Right.
Yeah, so that was how I spent my time in army, I guess.
Okay. Jeng Yih, a quick word on one of the other games as well, which is being contested at the SEA Games. That is Tekken 7.
Yeah, Tekken 7. Okay, one word?
No. I mean, I played Tekken. I mean, since it started, the first 2 or 3 versions, my favorite is martial law. Ooh, you can't go wrong with martial law. And then of course there's King, and Nina Williams. These are my three favorites.
For me, it's very surface for me only. I know those characters. I've seen before because, like I said previously, I mentioned previously.
Yeah.
I like hang out with my friends and they do play Taken, and I honestly I think that game requires too much techniques. It's actually too hard for me back then. I touched a bit like once or twice and I forgo it because like my friends are like not letting me even hit them once. So it's like, oh shit, how do I do this?
Yeah.
These kind of things it's too tough. So yeah, I think the techniques are really important in that game, and if you are really good, there's just too much techniques in that game, I feel. Yeah.
So it's quite similar to Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Is that as in
Fighting
one-on-one fighting?
That's 3D and 2D actually.
Yeah. Okay, the sixth and final game to be contested at the SEA Games is StarCraft 2.
Yep.
Jackie, what is StarCraft 2 about?
StarCraft 2 is a real-time strategy game that requires lots of movements and hand speed. So this is not a game for the people like me whose hand movement is very slow. So yeah, we have a German turned Singaporean recently, Thomas, who will be competing in the game, and yeah, we'll see how he performed there.
Okay, staying with you, and as coach of the Arena of Valor team that's going up to represent Singapore, how many hours in a day do your squad mates train?
To be honest, compared to the neighboring countries, we're all full-time athletes, full-time esports players. My team is actually comprises of 5 working adults, so it's a lot tougher. So they actually spend like maybe 3-4 hours at night to train, which compared to the full-time athletes is way lesser, but we'll try our best. Yep.
Okay, so like you said, I mean, it's a balance between full-time athletes
Full-time
and those who are working.
Yeah.
Then how do you find time to come together to train?
So usually we actually train like past the midnight hours and stuff like that. I mean, that's the only time that they probably have time, because working hours is probably till 6-7 o'clock.
Yeah.
After dinner it's about 8 to 9. So yeah, so we'll try and sacrifice some time to train at night and see how the progress is.
Gerald Chew, as part of your training this year, you competed in the Las Vegas Hearthstone Masters qualifiers. I mean, you competed online. What was the experience like?
Basically, I had a lot of good practice because that is the most recent official tournament this year, and I think it's quite important to continue to grind the official format because it'll give you the most relevant experience and practice for the upcoming tournaments.
Okay, and you did well. You finished in 2nd position.
Yeah, I guess
Right.
it was alright.
And I believe you said it was among how many competitors?
I think 256.
256. You finished 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the only thing is, if you had finished first, you would have got to fly to Vegas, right?
Yes.
To compete. So you're just there. Next year. You only started to get serious about esports after completing your national service just last year. So besides this Vegas qualifier, where else have you been to compete locally or regionally, leading up to the SEA Games?
Well, last year I was actually part of the demonstration esports event in the Asian Games because they had Hearthstone also. Then I managed to qualify and play with some of the players. So I think that's like the most similar tournament to this one right now. So I think I have a lot of experience like for the SEA Games.
Oh, nice. Okay. Jeng Yih, you've got 15 years of experience under your belt, playing in both DoTA 1 and 2. You even managed to organize 1 or 2 amateur events, and you were also a coach previously. Today, you're the captain of our DoTA 2 team. How is your current training program in the final days leading up to the SEA Games?
So for the team, right? Actually our practice schedule is more towards like individual training, because like we don't have the luxury of time also. So one of our players is a full-time student, and actually two of them, Joel and Yawen. So we don't have the time to actually gather together, and most of us are actually overseas. Like Wilson is mostly staying in Thailand. I'm mostly staying Johor, Malaysia.
Okay.
So we don't actually have the time to gather together to train, and we train on individual basis much more. So like every single day we're just practicing every single day. Yeah, as long as there's time we'll do it. Yeah. So hopefully when we get up, like we are strong on an individual basis, and we can perform up there.
Okay. I hear that you or your team also competed in Bangkok and Chengdu this year. Were those tournaments helpful in improving the skills of the squad?
To be clear, actually we were on like at the offline event for Bangkok, but the Chengdu was actually for an online qualifiers,
right,
which we did not qualify for. So it was just an online qualifier. We got, I think, 5th to 6th place for that qualifiers. Yeah,
okay.
Wasn't that good, but it's fine, I guess. A good experience. So for the Bangkok one, it's actually quite a good experience. Like personally, I like offline events much more. So you get the experience of like meeting the players, interacting with the players, kind of talk to them a bit and understand what's going on behind their minds, these kind of things. I like that kind of interaction. So having those offline experience helps. Let's say building up to SEA Games, it's gonna be an offline event too, right? Yeah. So I think we get closer to it and we feel much more better as in for preparation wise.
Okay. And what about one or two of the events in Singapore, which included the APAC Predator League finals? How did that go for you and the team?
So for APAC Predator qualifiers, we actually won that. We actually won that qualifiers for Singapore. So we will be representing Singapore for it in I think next year February.
Mm-hmm.
I think the date's about February. So yeah, great experience and of course another offline event.
Yeah.
We get the hands on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Jackie, I think about a couple of months ago, Razer, who are the official partner for the SEA Games for esports, they held a boot camp right here in Singapore. This was in September.
Yep.
What did you hear about it?
I think it was very interesting that they brought down the Tier 1 team, EG, the coach, to actually give advice to our local DoTA players. I think Nuts was one of them as well. Definitely getting some suggestions and ideas from the Tier 1 teams will help, especially when our scene is actually sort of underdeveloped in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to get professional advice and stuff and like personalized training schedule with them, it's pretty helpful. Yep.
Okay.
Thanks to Razer. Yep.
So this Razer event was more for
DoTA too.
Okay.
Yep.
So what about your team, your AOV team? Did they get to travel to compete this year?
So this year because of timing and they're full-time working adults, I mentioned, they only managed to travel to Malaysia, about in different teams actually, because some of them are actually part of another team in other countries as well. So it's only because of SEA Games they are together as Team Singapore. So they traveled to Malaysia. Result wasn't that good, to be honest, because I mean we're competing with full-time athletes out there, but it was positive. We take a lot out of it, and we're probably the dark horse of SEA Games, so we'll try our best. Yeah.
Nice. Now we know that esports has evolved tremendously over the last 10-15 years. We are looking at, close to 50,000-60,000 people going to a stadium to watch gamers compete, and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry across the world. But I have to ask you guys certain questions. Gerald first. What do you say to those who feel that esports is not a real sport and it is for gangs and it promotes gambling and other negative habits?
Okay, so first thing I think that esports is just like a name to draw similarity to sports, but it's not because they want to compare the physical aspects of sports, but rather you want to have the best players from each country or each region basically fighting against each other. And like this high level competition is what people like to see, and that's why people like sports so much. But in terms of the negative aspects, I would say it's just like how, for example, anybody can play football and basketball, and then sometimes they might get some bad influences from it. But it's the same thing for esports basically. So there's going to be good and bad, but in order to make it at the high level, to be professional, then it does not promote all these bad influences basically.
Jeng Yih, if esports is not a sport according to the critics, then why is it today a multi-billion-dollar gaming industry and international players, perhaps yourselves in the future, can go on to win millions of dollars in a single tournament? Millions. One tournament.
So from my thoughts about esports and sports, esports is just like the progressing upcoming thing, or actually I think kind of established in a way already.
Yeah.
So it's like digital sports, and that's what all the younger generations are focusing on. We spend a lot of time on our gadgets, our phones, our PC, looking at streams, watching all these games and stuff. So I think that's where the attraction is, and that's why when you have a lot of traction, you tend to have a lot of like investors getting interested into it, and that's where the money comes from, and that's where like the money starts pouring in, and I think that's why there's a lot of it's going up really fast in the speed. Yeah.
Jackie, perhaps you can address the stigma, because some people still think esports is not a sport. It is, you're just sitting there for 10 hours playing video games. It is as simple as that. Whereas athletes train, physically, mentally, emotionally, but you guys are just playing. But I for one, I mean, obviously it's much more than that, because it's not easy to, your coordination, and for hours that you play either on the phone, the console, or the PC. So what do you say to that? That it is, you're only just sitting there and playing video games. What do you say to that? simple.
I have to admit, it's pretty hard to convince parents to get rid of the stigma. I mean, over the years, I've spoken to numerous parents on this, what their thoughts on their son, their daughter playing games as well. I think it's more down to just take a little bit more time to understand why this industry is booming, and the amount of effort that the athletes put in. We call it e-athletes, I don't know, but that they put in is no less than actual sports athletes as well. 10 hours training, trying to perfect the skills to actually do the game is very similar to sports, and it's just that there must be a correct routine. I mean, proper rest hours and stuff like that. In the long run, we'll continue to see stigmas, definitely, but with a better developed system, I think parents will start to understand. Like me as a parent, I'll totally support my kid if they want to become an esports player in the future. Yeah.
Okay, well put. All right then, let's get your final thoughts on the SEA Games. And Jacky, what are you and your teammates hoping to achieve in Manila as you compete in Arena or Valor?
As I mentioned, we are the underdogs for the tournament. We'll try our best. I think Thailand and Vietnam are extremely strong in Arena or Valor. So we'll try our best, and maybe we get a shot at medals.
Okay.
Yep.
Gerald, with less than 2 years of professional experience competing in Hearthstone, what is your target in your SEA Games debut?
I'm actually aiming for a bronze medal at the minimum. I think that experience obviously it helps, but it does not play that big of a role, because even though I'm fighting against people who maybe have like 4 or 5 years of professional experience, but the rules of the game change from time to time, and I believe that with whoever puts in the most amount of practice, like in this particular year, can overcome the experience. So I think it's practice makes more.
Right.
Yeah, it matters more than experience.
Okay. And Jeng Yih, as the team captain of our DoTA 2 squad, what result would you be happy with at the SEA Games?
Happy? Goal.
Goal.
I always go for the goal, but it's not very realistic, honestly. Like we're not the favorites for sure. I think Philippines and Thailand has the better chance of achieving that. I think a podium finish is highly likely for us, and yeah, we'll do our best for it.
Once again, it's the first time esports is going to be at the Games. Singapore is sending a 20-member contingent competing in all 6 events. I understand from a media report a few months ago, the president of the Singapore Esports Association, which is the governing body of esports in Singapore, Mr. Ng Chong Geng, the president, he said his target was 3 medals. So let's see how that pans out as we have 20 of you going up to compete. On that note, Jeng Yih, Jacky, Gerald, thank you very much for appearing on this edition of Uncut. We wish you and all your teammates the very best in your first SEA Games outing, and do Singapore proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.